Hello and welcome to a new vlog and video of the cruise vibes, and today we're gonna take a look at the third day on board of the MS Maxima of nicko cruises. We are going from Vienna to Krems, and here on the map you can see our route today. We're starting early in the morning in Vienna where we stayed overnight, and now we're heading to Krems. Of course, we're starting the day with a very nice breakfast. I was one of the first guests in the restaurant, so we can take a look at the fully stocked buffet, which is very nice with a good selection. As you can see, was a very good breakfast, so I had a very good start in the day. And then it was time for relaxation because we were sailing again on the not too spectacular part of the Danube, past Tulln for example, and we're heading for Krems. We were seeing some bigger or smaller cities, some industrial areas, and of course we can also see a lot of other ships, and the highlight was of course meeting our sister ship, the Victoria. She's an identical sister, so here you can see her from the outside. That's exactly how our Maxima is also looking. And I think it's quite a beautiful ship with a very interesting silhouette, looking differently than other river cruise ships. So in my opinion, a very beautiful ship. So it was very nice to see our sister ship, the Victoria, on her way to Vienna. And there was also another interesting ship, which is called Albertina, sailing for Polster and Pol, a German company, which is mainly operating out of Eastern Germany, and the guests are coming to the ship by bus. That's why it's a bit difficult for me to travel with them, but still an interesting ship. And now we can take another look at the Victoria, just turning around the corner, and here we can see the Albertina once again. And here we can see the former power plant Zwentendorf, which was never taken into service. Quite an interesting building with an interesting history. Here we can see another interesting river cruise ship, the Prinzessin Sissi, also operating for Polster and Pol. I think a very beautiful ship with a very nice livery as well. And in the meantime we are getting closer to the lock of Altenwörth. Here we are reaching the lock, and we are now going up more than 16 meters. 16.6 meters is the difference of altitude here in the lock of Altenwörth. This time we were not in lock together with the nicko Vision, but with the ship of Viking, the Viking Njord, and here we can see the distinctive bow of the ship from my cabin window. And here you can see the difference in the cabin windows. You can see how much lower and bigger my window is compared to the window of the Viking Njord. That's what I really love about this ship class and the cabins on the main deck, that you have such big windows. Then it was a time for yet another nice and tasty lunch. As the food quality was so good on board, we always decided to have a lunch in the restaurant instead of the light lunch. And after lunch we reached Krems, and a little bit later than us the nicko Vision arrived as well, and she was docking right next to us. She took a bit longer because she was coming from the Handelskay in Vienna, which is a bit further away. Here we can see both ships docked together in Krems. We can see the differences in their look. You can see that they are totally different ships with a different concept, but for me the Maxima is the more beautiful one, even though it's the older one. But as you know, I do like the older ships usually better than the new ones. Now it's time to head into the city center of Krems. It's not too close to the docking location, so I would say 20 to 30 minutes of walking until you reach the city center of Krems. But it's worth it because the city is very beautiful. There was a small Christmas market to see, and they have a lot of nice smaller shops in this city center. It's a quite beautiful old town. Here you can see the way that you're walking there. The weather was not perfect, but at least it was dry. And here we are at the beginning of the city center with the Steiner Tor, Steiner Gate. And here we have the city center, the old town of Krems. And here you can see that there is a small Christmas market and beautiful decorations all over the town. I would recommend to go into the city center, even though it's a bit further to walk, but I would say it's absolutely worth it. Just take a look at this cute teddy bear here, for example, and there were light installations like this all over the city. Here we can see the Steiner Gate again, and behind the gate there is also a Christmas market and a lot of nice decorations. And then it was time to head back to the ship, as it was quite cold outside on this day. Here we can see our beautiful Maxima and the Nicko Vision next to her again, and we're now heading back on board. And today was a special evening. There was a special evening program that we will take a look at in a couple of minutes. Before that, it was time for a glass of wine once I was back on board. And as you can see, the weather changed. It started to rain quite heavily. It was not the best weather. And during the heavy rainfall, the Nicko Vision left our side and was continuing on to her and our next destination of Linz. And just a couple minutes later, we were also losing the lines and heading for Linz as well. We will now go through the famous area of the Wachau, a very beautiful part of the Danube. Here we can see the city of Stein, which is where we are docked next to it. It belongs to Krems. And then it was time for yet another fantastic dinner. Food quality on board, as I said, was amazing. Presentation was lovely, and also the taste was always very, very good. So I was very positively surprised by the food quality on board of the Maxima. And now we are approaching Dürnstein, probably one of the most beautiful villages or cities on the Danube, and for sure the highlight of the Wachau. Very famous city, especially for its church with the blue tower, which we can see here on the right. And up on the hill on the left you can also see the castle, the ruins of the castle of Dürnstein. We're then going past the city of Weißenkirchen, but there was not that much to see of the rest of the Wachau as it was already dark outside. So I went back inside and enjoyed a few drinks in the lounge, and then it was time for a fantastic evening program. I just headed outside for a second again because the rain stopped and changed into snowfall, and it was quite nice to see some heavy snowfall during our cruise. And then it was time for the show of our wonderful cruise manager. He had made his own show. He started with singing and then he was the DJ, and take a look at the great atmosphere on board. I've never experienced something like this on a river cruise ship. Just remember, this is not a party cruise, this is a regular cruise, and just take a look. It looks like on a big ocean cruise ship with big parties on board, but this is a river cruise ship, and I've never experienced something like this because all guests were participating. There were moments where nobody, not a single person was sitting, everybody was there, and the best thing was, it was not only the guests, also the crew was invited, and guests and crew were dancing and celebrating together, and that was a magical moment, a highlight of the cruise for me, and for sure a reason to highly recommend the MS Maxima. That was a very, very special moment, like never experienced something like this. And I've been on some party cruises on a river cruise ship with much less good vibes on board, so it was amazing. But that's it for this video. In the next video we will take a look at the last days on board. Here you can see when this video will be uploaded and the name of the songs. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.